I'm gonna try my best not to get emotional in this video, but we'll see how that goes. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is gonna be something a little bit different, since I really don't have much movies or shows that have come out recently to talk about. I thought I would just talk about some of my personal favorite other like film and movie creators across social media. This video actually has like, or the idea for this video has kind of like, it's gone through many different versions. I first wanted to do just my like it first started out as doing my top 10 favorite YouTubers, just in general, like not specifically to do with film, just like all of the YouTubers that I watch. And it was like, and I was like trying to make like a ranked list, and I did come up with one, but then I realized that it's not really the best idea to like rank actual people. And it just like that whole idea just felt kind of weird to me. So then I was still doing like just all YouTubers, but then I wasn't doing a ranked list. And then I realized that, hey, like I am, an up and coming film and TV creator. Might as well just stick to that. And so I'm now doing my favorite film and TV content creators. And also just a disclaimer, this list is not ranked in any way. Yes, there might be some that I watch more than others, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're better than other ones that I may mention on this list. It's just that's the way it is. So this list is not ranked whatsoever. And getting on into the list, the way that I kind of structured this is I kind of structured it in a way where I'm gonna attempt to talk about like the order that I discovered them, but so that's gonna be more towards the beginning, and then I'll get into just like a random order, and then I'll end with probably the ones that I personally watch the most and have had the most impact on me. So yeah, so let's just go ahead and get started. So I think I'm gonna start with probably the first, these first three that I'm gonna talk about are the very first YouTube channels that I came across when I was, first becoming, obsessed with nerdy things and film and stuff like that. And so the first YouTubers that I'm going to be talking about are the Super Carlin brothers. These are probably the creators on this list that I've probably been watching for the most. I think I first discovered them when I was in 7th grade, probably. And I am a sophomore in college now, just for reference. But yeah, this was, in my era of, being obsessed with Harry Potter. Definitely like late middle school, 7th and 8th grade, that was when I was in my deep Harry Potter obsession. And I found them and I just became obsessed with their videos. They do amazing Harry Potter theories. They do other stuff other than Harry Potter, like they do Marvel and Disney and stuff like that, but they're mostly, I think they're probably mostly known for their Harry Potter content. and they've been doing, what they've been kind of doing recently is they've been kind of doing these like what if scenarios when it comes to Harry Potter. Like probably the big one that they did was what was it? Oh, they did the whole their whole Dumbledore's Big Plan series, which is basically a whole series they did going through each of the books and like connecting everything that happens, like this whole big plan that Dumbledore supposedly had for Harry the whole time. And then they done what if, like the first one that they did was what if Harry was in Slytherin. And they've done like, you know, another house one they did what if Ron was in Hufflepuff, I think. And then like, well, what if Neville was the chosen one? I think those are like the big series that they've done, but they've done other little ones. But yeah, if you're into Harry Potter and you want to hear some, you know, theories and these, you know, what if situations, I would go and check them out. And now, if you're also into Harry Potter, but you're more into just learning straight about Harry Potter, the straight lore that is canon, and going deep into that, I would recommend the channel Movie Flame. Again, I discovered him around the same time as I discovered Super Cullen Brothers. And yeah, I feel like honestly it's because of Super Cullen Brothers and Movie Flame that I know just random stuff about Harry Potter. Movie Flame that he does, Morgan, he does like these amazing, like at least what I first discovered of what he does is these amazing like timelines of like a whole entire character's life. So he's done them for Harry Potter, he's done them for Hunger Games. I think he's done some Percy Jackson ones, and correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, and like I think the first video that I saw of his that really like stood out to me was his timeline of the life of Voldemort, and I was just like so like captured by it. I don't know why. But yeah, he does some amazing work. And then so going into when I was getting more into Marvel and stuff like that, and I also blame this channel for my amount of Marvel trivia that I know, and just learning so much more about Marvel, and that is New Rockstars. Yes, I am a New Rockstar person. Over Screen Rant, I think, is the other channel. I just think New Rockstars does such a good job with everything that they do. I mean, the breakdowns, I mean, are obviously I personally think is what they're known for. But New Rockstars is just amazing. Eric Voss is my king. I'm obsessed with him. I'm obsessed with his personality, I think. And then Jessica, the other host of the channel, she's also amazing and so funny. And all the other people that do New Rockstars and I also love the deep dive, which is the like Eric's kind of own like subsection of New Rockstars, where he does like real deep analysis of like just a bunch of movies, and I love that channel, and hopefully he's gonna be posting on it soon. I think, hopefully, and also I think that the New Rockstars is really like, and specifically with the deep dive especially, was like how I was like able to bridge from just being obsessed with like the nerdy things like Marvel and Star Wars and Disney and Harry Potter to like true like film. And I think that also came with like these other creators I'm about to talk about as well, but that was the main like thing that like bridged the gap for me, is like, oh, I'm also actually a fan of just film in general. I'm not just a nerd, you know? So like, yeah. So now getting into some of the true like film like review channels, I guess I want to say. I guess we can call them that. And the first one I want to talk about is probably one of the few that was also kind of a gap when it came like kind of what bridged the gap between just nerdy stuff to like actual film, and that is your movie guy and my movie guy, Straw Hat Goofy. I love him. I think I first came across his videos probably having something to do with Marvel, would be my guess. But just his videos are so amazing. He is so knowledgeable and knows a lot about what he's talking about, and it's insane. I think, because I believe he only started TikTok and stuff back in 2020 during COVID, and I think that's just crazy how with only within the span of 5 years now he's been able to grow as much as he has, and been able to do the amount of things that he's been able to do. I think that's just so amazing. But yeah, and then these next two I want to talk about together, because I just kind of discovered them both at the same time, and they both kind of give off the same vibe, and that is Sean Chandler from the channel Sean Chandler Talks About, and Cody Leach. Cody is definitely more specifically having to do with horror, so if you're into horror, I would definitely go and check him out, because horror is more his thing. But Sean Chandler is really, he was really who got me into actual movie reviews, because before I was kind of just watching just videos about lore, obviously lore about the worlds of these things that I love, but I really wasn't getting into what how the actual movies were made and the quality of them and stuff like that. And so I think Sean Chandler was really the first one that I truly first watched an actual movie review, and I was oh yeah, these are things that can be on YouTube. I guess, I don't know. But yeah, both Sean and Cody are amazing. They do I feel they're kind of the dads of the film kind of TikTok and YouTube kind of community, and they're just both amazing. And the stuff that they've both been able to, but more specifically Sean, I think Sean is an official actual considered a movie critic on Rotten Tomatoes now, and all this stuff. So they're amazing. I love them. And then so these last two I'm gonna talk about, and then I'm gonna get into my final five, which are the ones that have had the most impact on me personally. So these last two I'm going to talk about in this kind of little section is, first one is Danny Mata. I was honestly kind of debating on whether or not to put him on this list, because he really doesn't do film stuff in the way that a lot of these other ones do. But I feel he's kind of related to a lot of the people on this list, so I put him on here. Danny is hilarious. He's honestly the reason why I got into Hazbin Hotel and Hell of a Boss, which I probably wouldn't have ever gotten into if I had watched his reactions. So thanks, Danny, for that. But yeah, and then the last one I want to talk about before I get into my final five is a guy who I actually recently started really watching, just within the past week or so, and that is Sammy J Reacts, is his TikTok. I just think his style of commentary is so funny, and I think he does the way he does it just makes you laugh, and you know it's not going to be boring. Not to say that any of these other creators are boring, but I'm always, anytime I watch one of his TikToks, I'm always smiling the whole time, just because either smiling or laughing the whole time, just because of the way he does it. So yeah, so Now for my final 5, and like I've said before in this video, these are probably the 5 that have definitely had the most impact on me and my motivation for, and really like motivated me to want to start this channel. And the first one, they're technically like 2 individual channels, but they're boyfriend and girlfriend, so I figured I'd put them in one spot, and that is Chris from the channel Film Stalked, and then his girlfriend Cam. They are amazing. I mean, I feel like Cam, she's, I believe, is the only girl on this list, which I'm just now realizing that, which is, that is the reason why one of the main reasons why I made this channel was because so we could have more female, more like girls just in this space. But I think Cam, she does an amazing job. I love like her commentary on things. I love how she's a Percy Jackson fan, and watching her content about Percy Jackson has like reignited my love for Percy Jackson that I like really haven't had since I was like 10. So I love that. And then Chris from Film Stalked, I love his channel as well. I think the main thing was that he was the person that like first like got me into Cobra Kai, and I literally watched Cobra Kai through his reactions to it, and Cobra Kai is now like in my top 10 favorite TV shows of all time. And so if I hadn't watched his videos about Cobra Kai, I probably would have never watched it. So I love that. Obviously, like, I feel like he's like kind of known for his Stranger Things content, which, I can always, count on him to, explain if I see something online that has something to do with Stranger Things, I can always count on him to like comment on it and like make sure I know if this thing is real or not, because you never know on the internet these days what's real or not. So yeah, and then the next one I want to talk about is Alex Coleman. I also discovered him fairly recently, but I think his style, particularly on TikTok, is very similar to Sammy. Sammy J Reacts. I feel like Sammy and Alex Coleman have very similar like styles when it comes to their videos, which makes sense because they kind of like, if I'm not mistaken, started TikTok at around the same time. But again, just, very much does very well. And like I love his movie review specifically, and also Sammy's, because if I either don't have the time or don't really feel like watching like a full 30-minute to like hour review of like that somebody else posted, I can just go to their TikTok and watch one that's like 5 minutes, which I really like. So again, Alex Coleman, and then Soups, Matt Ramos. I feel like if you're on film and TikTok at all, Soups. I mean, he's just like so iconic at this point. But I also just like everybody on this list, love all the stuff that he does. If you watch one thing from him, watch his horror short film, because I love that, and like it's genuinely been like I genuinely had was up at night, not had a nightmare, but I was up kind of scared at night, like after watching that. And it's, just like very well done and like very well shot. He acts in it and he's like amazing and acting in it. So check out his short film if you haven't already. It's amazing. But yeah. And so now I'm down to the final two. These final two are both duos. They both have TikToks, but also are podcasts. And I am a patron of both of these creators, and so I'm like, paying for so that's how I feel like that's how I love them, is because I'm literally paying to watch more of their content. And I'll just say them both at the same time. It is the Escape Pod podcast and Duck Takes. I'm literally wearing Escape Pod merch right now. This is Christmas merch and it's March, but who cares? But yeah, these two. I'll just start with the Escape Pod podcast. Honestly, if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't have discovered half of the creators that I mentioned on this list, because they are honestly the ones that they're the ones that introduced me to Alex Coleman, to Sammy J Reacts, to Danny Mata. Yeah, I mean, I kind of already knew Soups and Straw Hat Goofy before discovering them, but like they're the ones that introduced me the most to, and they also introduced me to Duck Takes as well. But both of them are just amazing. Alex and Andrew, they are just amazing. I feel like they both have insanely good chemistry together, even though they do fight a lot, and such good chemistry together. And I love how, like, even though despite, even, I feel like a lot of people, will watch them and be like, why do they do this together if they fight all the time? And do they even like each other and all that stuff? And it's like, if they truly didn't like each other, then they wouldn't keep doing it. We've seen moments on the podcast where they do get along and agree with each other. And it's also crazy to think that they only met I think they've said that they only met I think it was 2 months before they started the podcast, which is insane. And also, they've only been doing the podcast since the beginning of 2023. They've only been doing this for 2 years, and the amount that they've grown and been able to do. Obviously Andrew kind of had a fan base before the podcast, but it's just crazy the amount of stuff that they've been able to do within only 2 years of doing this podcast. And then now going on to Duck Takes, Blake and Garrett. I also have some of their merch. If you can't see up there, I have some other. I think that's their merch right there, and I also have some other Escape Pod merch up there. But yeah, I'm obviously, like I said, I'm also a patron of both Escape Pod and Duck Takes. But yeah, Duck Takes, Blake and Garrett, I discovered them through the Escape Pod, and then fell in love with their content. Obviously they have good chemistry with each other because obviously they are brothers, and I think it's kind of the same thing that also kind of drew me to Super Carlin Brothers, is that, brotherly dynamic and succeeding, and I think just succeeding with family is just so cool. And also the stuff that they've done, they've literally just watching their video recently about them being able to go to their first premiere with Daredevil Born Again was insane. yeah, I love them. But yeah, and that's all of the creators that I wanted to mention. And I just want to end off this video by saying that genuinely all of these creators mean so much to me, and it's them that I'm even filming this video right now, and like it's truly like watching their videos is what makes me want to keep doing this, and by keep doing this, hopefully I will be able to do what they are doing, and yeah, they've truly like inspired, like all of these creators have truly inspired me so much, and yeah, I wouldn't be doing this channel without them. So if any of you guys are watching, which would be insane, thank you so much. All of you guys mean the world to me. So yeah, so before I cry, that is it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like this video and subscribe, and check out, I just made an Instagram, so make sure to go and follow that and check that out once I start posting some stuff on there. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.